Joining me right now is Democratic Congressman Eric Swalwell of California with more on this. So the president does this on Saturday, Congressman, accusing the former another former FBI director of lying about January 6th. Again, claiming this without evidence. An Inspector General report showed that the FBI agents were doing their job. Kash Patel, the current FBI director, also was later clarified that the agents that were sent in, they were sent in after the riot had begun for crowd control purposes. But add this all up and trying to not miss the forest for the trees here. Is Christopher Wray next?
It looks that way. Donald Trump seems hell-bent on not going after the physical threats to you and to your viewers, but rather going after his perceived political opponents. So I don't want to set aside, because it's not who we are as a democracy. I mean, he is weaponizing the Department of Justice, going after his political enemies. But what does it mean to everyday Americans? We're seeing an escalation of mass shootings again. Obviously, we had the Kirk assassination and a political assassination on an ICE facility last week, shootings over the weekend in North Carolina and in Michigan. And so if law enforcement is pulled off the case to work on the president's political opponents, what does that mean for the rest of us? That's what concerns me. And then Kate, just as the senior Democrat overseeing the January 6th committee, what is being put out there and what Donald Trump is trying to tell people is not what happened. FBI agents, of course they responded to January 6th, just like every other law enforcement agency was asked to respond that day. They weren't there ahead of time. They responded to do their jobs. And so we're not going to let him erase the heroism of every officer that showed up on January 6th.
When you say you're not going to let them, I also heard in relation to, this was James Comey, you say last week that your committee, Judiciary, has the power to step in and kind of stop some of this. But how, Congressman, especially being in the minority?
Well, first, we are making it clear that we're going into the majority a year from now. We have every intention to do that. And so we will bring oversight, accountability. We will subpoena the Department of Justice, but also private actors who have done these drug deals with the administration, college campuses, entertainment companies, law firms. And so accountability is coming. And so, one, it's all coming out. Two, I hope that deters people from doing more of these deals, these one-offs with the president. One other point, though, on Comey, Kate, this happened when Donald Trump was president. So if you're trying to tell me this is not politically motivated, the statement that they're referring to where he allegedly lied, Donald Trump was president. So why didn't you indict him then? The fact that he's indicting him now just makes it look even more politically motivated. And so I'm pretty confident that this will either be dismissed or Mr. Comey will be acquitted by a jury of his peers.
Come Wednesday morning, you are looking at a government shutdown. Do you want to see Senator Schumer stand up here, even if it means stand up and stand against making a deal, even if it leads to a government shutdown?
Well, I don't want to fund this government as is. And so that's what's really on the line here. This government is not killing cancer. It's killing cancer research. This government is not lowering your health care costs. It's increasing it as people go in to open enrollment.
But you're having a short-term, long-term problem. You're having a short-term, this is a kind of a short-term, long-term conversation. Long-term, many Democrats would agree with what you're saying right there. Short-term, your option is, as we get to this every time, and I've covered these for, I don't know, I feel like I'm a million years old at this point, it's either coming down to you're facing at this moment, you're either going to fund the government as is, talk about the health care subsidies later, or the government's going to be shut down. Which option are you most comfortable with?
I'm not comfortable with this Republican tyrannical government. So I'm not co-signing on that, Kate, and I don't think anyone should. Now, if they are, going to, as I said, change their deportation policy and not get rid of innocent Americans who are contributing to our economy, if they're going to lower health care costs and not get rid of the subsidies and Medicare cuts that they put in place, and if they are going to, as I referred to earlier, put back in place cancer research, as 40% of Americans are going to find out this year that they have a cancer diagnosis, I would sign off on that. But why would we want to continue to be co-signees on this madness that is hurting our friends and neighbors and making us look less and less like America. This is a Republican-run government. They have the White House, the House, and the Senate. They've had plenty of months to put forward legislation where they could work with us to get this passed. They waited till the very last minute. Donald Trump set a meeting, canceled a meeting, reset a meeting. This is entirely on them. And as I said, I don't want to be a co-signee to this tyranny.